And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Garden stream and the sunny Garden Live. And we have the sun right here that is nice and bright today. And all the birds are chirping and happy to be here, too. Hello, Lemon. Good morning. Good evening, where you are, I guess. And yeah, it's another Garden Live. And I'm glad that you love these. That's great. It is very cool, and I enjoy doing it with all of you. And yeah, I mean, these are, nice. We have a lot of different discussions that are fascinating. And, it's nice to see everybody. So I also enjoy doing it with all of you, too. Yeah, and the sun's always fascinating to see. It's always very cool. Good morning, Saw. Shout out to you. Today, Mr. Mockingbird's very talkative. All over the place. That's nice. They're going to be releasing some more alien files, and they're going to be... We'll see if they show any of the alien bodies, which a lot of people don't think they're going to do, but we'll see what happens. That'd be nice to see. If there's any kind of involvement with cryptids, I'd like to see any information about them too, because I know they're real also. And ghosts and things like that. So basically, like, paranormal things are around and are in existence. Thank you, Saw. I always think they should have complete disclosure about everything. Because people want to know the truth about stuff. Because a lot of times, throughout the decades, people would say that stuff isn't real, but then they say it is real later. So it's kind of funny when they do that, because that's how you know when someone's lying, because they're being inconsistent about what they're saying. And that's why I think, when they sell us some things or give us breadcrumbs, they're maybe not giving us every single detail about stuff. They already didn't have the best reputation to begin with a lot of these things, the way they were handled. So yeah. Oh yeah, Saul, I believe that it is very disappointing about the. Hey, Phil, good to see you. I think it's very disappointing about the UFO file drop. Although I did like the information in it, I thought it was interesting. It's not what we were expecting. And good morning, Phil. I hope you're doing well. It's nice to see you. Yeah, because there's so many different information out there that they're not revealing, because there is all these different biologics, these biological bodies and these aircraft, but they're just showing us documents and different things, or like a little video of something flying on a screen. It gets some acknowledgement, and then that happens. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Saul. Glad you like the sunrise. It's very enchanted indeed. Yeah, and it is nice to see. Oh, yeah, it reminds you of jungle. Oh, okay, I appreciate it. And yeah, it certainly is similar to a jungle. You know, we definitely need it. Definitely is like a jungle, and I always thought that too. And I designed this place to be like that, because I thought that was, I always like jungles, so I created my own. Yeah, and this environment and this type of climate was very perfect for it. Because I believe the aliens and stuff are real. I just think that they're not giving us the right information about them. They're concealing it. But exactly, we do need it, Phil. Indeed. All we need is monkeys, leopards, and elephants. Yes. Yes, that is true. It'll be complete. And giraffes and stuff like that. Yeah. And Sauce said, definitely no solid evidence that I have seen. Yeah. Yeah, with these UFO files, as I said, there are interesting things in them, but it's really vague. rather than just concrete stuff out. But I believe they're real. I believe they're out, you know, and not really showing us everything that could be shown. Yeah, you know, like, because when people, and now apparently over time they're going to show more and more information, but we'll see. But as I said, they had interesting files and evidence about the United States covering up alien sightings and people seeing UFOs in different parts of the world. So they have documented people seeing them, but it said it's very vague about what's going on exactly. So yeah, they need to be more transparent and show us more information. And I don't mind the UFO files. I think they're interesting, but not showing as much as a lot of people thought there would be in them. Okay, I think. Okay, and yeah, chat. Hello, welcome to the stream. All right, here's Bubbles. I don't know if y'all can see me, but yeah, here is Bubbles. I mean, here is Claude. Okay, so am I visible now? Oh, okay. Thank you, Saul. All right, so here is Claude. He has come to tell us all hello. Yeah, he had a night of guarding the garden and hunting, and now he is back with us. Hey, let's see where he goes. Hey, he looks great in the sun. That is awesome. All right, so here is Claude. He is... The Claudester is here. Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah, he is adorable, and he is just... His personality is very charming. And yeah, he likes to go on long hunts at night and guard the garden, and then he likes to come and hang out here. Sometimes he goes on very long hunts and he doesn't always come here, but he is with us now. So yeah, because I remember chat was asking about him yesterday, and he comes at different times. And he has clean socks as always. He's always good at keeping himself groomed. That's what he always likes to do. At nighttime, he's very good at. Yeah, he has a very good temperament, and he's a charm to him. You know, he likes to come around and help out with things and doing something in the garden, stuff like that. Yeah, he definitely has a good temperament. Indeed, yeah. He's going back in his box where he likes to have his catnip. I wonder if there's still some remnants of it, because that's what he definitely likes to do. See, he looks like he's smelling something. Must be some more catnip still there. Yeah, it's his box. Like in SpongeBob, they had a secret box. They did all kinds of things. That's his secret box. Okay, yeah, he is going to town now. Yeah. Okay, he had his little dose of catnip, and now he's ready to go back in his spot. Yeah, and at night there's all kinds of animals and all kinds of different noises and stuff. It's very much like a jungle, and it's always cool to see him just come out and pop out of nowhere. And now he is rolling right here. Okay, so yeah, and he definitely has leopard prints. He's not like the other cats. He has a leopard prints to him, and he is just enjoying like his little sunbathing match right here. And yeah, that is what he is doing. So, yesterday it was when we were watching the boat trial. It was interesting talking about the speed of boats, different things like that. I like that. It was pretty cool. And Anna provided some cool information I didn't know about. And yeah, when someone I just think it was a crazy accident that happened. And people, like, when you're on a boat, you have to try to watch what you're doing, and you go a little bit slower sometimes. But yeah, it's interesting trial to watch. Yeah. Hey, and yeah, Florida definitely is. There's lots of pirate stuff in Florida that we talked about before, and yeah, exactly. So I agree, and there is definitely lots of you know culture in Florida is about boating and being on the sea and stuff, and I like that. It's pretty cool. So the thing with the dude, I will say that putting a concrete. Hey, Frog. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. And so it's just with that case, he just really needed to, putting a concrete or some kind of metal object, whatever it's made out of, is really nice to, in a sarcastic way, because somebody could run into one of those things. I don't know what they are. Those beams. You're putting these beams in the middle of the water. I know it's a way to guide sailors back to their home, but it's, in a way, it could be an obstacle if you put one of those metal things or those beams in the water like that, and someone may not see it right away if something is miscalculated. So yeah, it's like an obstacle course. They made it into an obstacle course. Yeah, and it's like concrete and metal. And I'll go into, also go more deep dive about it. But yeah, that's what it is. And when someone's hitting that at a high speed, it'll cause definitely a problem. Yeah, so it's kind of like a concrete metal beams they put in those water, and we will go into a deep dive about that on the stream. And so basically, yeah, and when you have that in the water, and they may not be able to see it as easily up close as you could see them farther away, and then it's a little thing, you could just go and nick it, just go and crash into it. Similar to the Titanic. When the Titanic was going very fast, it was difficult to maneuver it to get it away from the obstacle of the iceberg. So they kind of sideswiped it, because when something's going very fast, it's hard to stop it when it's in motion like that. How much is that frog in the window? Ribbit, ribbit. Yeah. Yeah, Lemon, and I know about that theory about the Titanic being swapped with the Olympic. Now, in my opinion, the ships are so different looking. Like, for instance, the radio room is in a completely different location in the Olympic and the Titanic, and it would have taken weeks and weeks to switch them out because they looked very, nearly identical, but they weren't like really similar looking. If you looked at the fine details about them, and the different decks were different, and the designs of the portholes and stuff, it would take a large crew a very long time to completely switch them because they were not 100% identical, where you could just switch out the names. So I don't really think they were switched out, and it would have just the costs would have been more than the insurance they would have made off of the ship itself. Although there is something where people claim that there's a the Olympic an outlining of the Olympic logo on the Titanic. That's one of the theories about it. But just the ships were incredibly different looking. So it just if they were going to switch them out, it would have taken a very long time to change up everything. And it's not as easy as like switching out the names. But I definitely thought about that theory before about the Olympic and Titanic being switched out. And yeah, it is, and that's how it works. The Olympic and the Titanic are just very different looking. Okay, I'll look forward to seeing that. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, you see, the portholes are very different looking on the Titanic, and the Olympic. See on the Olympic, see a Titanic right there has much like square looking portholes right there, and then that one has that one right there. Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I do think things can be tricked up with a CGI and stuff like that. But yeah, you see, and I understand what you're saying that the underwater, it's very different looking. It looks so like the Olympic. I see what you're saying, but yeah, the portholes of Titanic and the Olympic are very different. Now, there, the thing is though, in my opinion, it could have been done with CGI. The other picture, but I see what you're saying, and if that is true, that's very interesting. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go here. Yeah, it would be insane. Like as I said, I believe it was a Titanic that did it. But yeah, it definitely would be. Indeed, it's very interesting to talk about too. Yeah, because if we look at the Olympic right here, right, this is the Olympic, and that's the Titanic, right? And you see the portholes right here on the Olympic are very different than Titanic's, right? So if we go back to the other picture, right, the Olympic's portholes in that region of the ship look nothing like the Titanic's, right? Yeah, I know. And see, because if we look at it right there, that's just the Titanic itself. Yeah, so that's Olympic, and that's Titanic. You know, they're so if it was the Olympic down there, it would look more like that. Yeah, and also it's okay. Thank you for showing us. You see, the is E deck is in a different spot in the Titanic than it is in the other ship. In the room where they do the Morse code are in two completely different places. Yeah, so they made them their sister ships, so they weren't twins. And look, at one time I thought they were switched out at one time, but I did further research into it, and it's not likely. Anything's possible though. It could be, but it doesn't seem too likely. But thank you for explaining. Now I do believe it's possible the Titanic was sabotaged, and they either sunk it on purpose because there's a lot of people in there that was opposing the Federal Reserve. And when people are opposing the Federal Reserve, that's not really, and they all died on there. It's not really a good thing. So there's a theory that maybe they were trying to sabotage the Titanic and take the people out on there that were there. As it definitely was hard to sink, but it wasn't invincible. So a lot of people didn't understand at the time that, like, it was harder to sink than another ship, but it wasn't invincible. And some people think it could have been sunk on purpose, or a torpedo hit it. Those theories, I think, are probably true. Because it's kind of strange to have all those people in one place, and then that happens. Yes, there are lots of elites on Titanic. That is true. You light up my life, you give me hope, you carry on light my days filled with nights. The song Debbie Boone, Light Up Life 1977. Check that out, y'all. Okay. Absolutely, Frog. Yeah, so Titanic had people on there that were trying to oppose the Federal Reserve being created, and it was created a year later in 1913. And the Federal Reserve and the way we have our money now eventually led to, I feel, financial collapses. Yeah, I'll do it, Jared. I'll do it, Frog. And, that led to so much issues, with like inflation. When you pump out a bunch of money, it doesn't become as valuable. And, there used to be a time where people could just spend $300 on a car, a brand new car, or go to a movie for a penny or something like that. It was so over time, the value of the dollar went down. And people have conspiracy theories that the Titanic was in the Federal Reserve, had people on there that was going to oppose the Federal Reserve, and they sunk the ship on purpose because they were going to try to do something about it. And I think that's true. J.P. Morgan, the bank, J.P. Morgan, the dude, that guy was opposing the Federal Reserve, No, he wasn't opposing the Federal Reserve. He was the Federal Reserve. I think he was behind it, probably. He didn't go on the Titanic. Something came up and he didn't get to go on it. So conveniently, he didn't go on it. Now, something came up, but it's kind of strange that he... Oh, yes, Sandra, exactly. And good morning to you. Yeah, and that is... Yeah, 1912 is when the ship sunk, and 1913 is when the Federal Reserve was created. So they're trying to do something where to sabotage the plan to stop it. And it's kind of strange. I believe that conspiracy theory is true. And you had all these different people on the Titanic that were trying to, go to a better life, or people that were trying to do business and politics and stuff. And yeah, they just didn't make it. And that's why they believe it was sabotaged. Yeah. Okay, Sandra. So there was somebody, J.P. Morgan, a person named J.P. Morgan, and he had a bank, right? The J.P. Morgan bank, that's a Chase, that's there now. And he was supposed to go on Titanic, but something came up and he conveniently didn't go on it. So he must have known that something was going to happen, allegedly, for him to not go on it. But they say that wasn't the reason, but it's kind of weird how he knew not to go on it. A lot of people had bad feelings about Titanic and dreams and nightmares about the ship, and they didn't really want to go on it. So, and there was a cat that, with her kittens, escaped. It left the Titanic. She left with her kittens when they docked in Ireland, I think. And that's really interesting because maybe the cat sensed something was going to happen. And, because I think animals know things like that. They know when bad things are going to happen, and they want to stop, to save themselves and and everyone else around them. So yeah, there's people on the Titanic that were against the Federal Reserve from being created. And if the Federal Reserve is being created, it would cause problems to Americans in the world, right? And they want to have it how it used to be before. It used to be different before. They used to have different banks. And this is before the 29 crash. Things are kind of different back then. So if people think like Exactly, Sandra. Yeah, it's private. And if people, like back in the 1912 and stuff, it was... the world was a very different place, and over time, these people were against the Federal Reserve being created, and then the Titanic conveniently sunk, and all these people conveniently died on it, and then the next year, Federal Reserve was created. So it's just kind of strange. Yeah, and so I don't believe it was necessarily the Olympic and Titanic being switched out. No, it was most likely something else. And yeah, so the Olympic actually lived up to being unsinkable back in that time period. You know, the Olympic did what it was supposed to do, where it ran over basically a German U-boat. It crashed right into it, and it survived, and it had a big gaping hole, and it went back to shore. And the Olympic had many crashes and accidents, but it survived. So the Olympic lived up to the reputation of the unsinkable ship, and it was seen as a heroic ship back in that time period. And when they put them in wartime, they painted the ships a different way, with blue and gray, to disguise them as like warships and as a hospital ship. Like the Britannic was a hospital ship. Yes, Sandra, we became a corporation. That's true. America's like a company. Yeah. For instance, I mean, the flag of America is a company flag, the East India Company. You know, so that is something interesting about it. Yeah, and that is what happened, and these people were trying to stomp it, but it didn't quite work. Here's some more of this tree. Some more of the siding, you know. So this is a nice little area where the cats like to go sometimes. Okay, and yeah, Bubbles is right there. That's right where he is, and he is resting right there. My house was made around the time of 1912, so it's very historical. Here's an example of the bug net. It's not as secure as I'd like it to be, but that is the bug net concept. I need to do some repair. I think it's secured, but I might have to secure it a little bit more. But yeah, that's basically a bug net right there. See, that's a flower that's going to be blooming at some point. Yeah, I agree, Sandra. I agree. And let's see. Lemon says, remember the one guy who tried to make water-fueled car? The one that died suddenly? Like, he probably got deleted by big oil gas companies, but that's just something me and some people think. Oh, I believe that you're right. You know, because there's a theory about the aliens that they are very that the alien technology would help us with making free energy and stuff like that. But Tesla himself, Nikola Tesla, he came up with concepts of electricity that would give everyone free electricity, even without the alien stuff. And look what happened. He was basically swept under the rug, and they didn't go with his idea and his plan. But I do believe in aliens, and allegedly have technology that would help our world centuries ahead, right? And they don't want people to know about it because it would go against the corporations and the money that's being made. So yeah, I do believe there's truth to that, Levin. He got deleted by those oil gas companies because, yeah, I mean, the stocks and everything would go down. It would be very bad for the economy. And that's not good to delete him, though. It's good to do the right thing and have the dude, live. But, we are in a world of apex predators, right? And we have to be careful about, we can win. The good side can win, but we are in a world of apex predators. Saw said Stanley Mayer, water fuel car inventor. Thank you, Saw, for the information. Yeah. There's some trees hopping around. To have a water fuel car would be very cool. A lot of times these inventions are very good ideas. And imagine if you're able to have a water fuel car and it would just be good for civilization and make it better. That would be nice to have, right? But if it was mass produced, it would cause the other companies to go out of business. Which is extremely good in a way, but also not good because it would hurt an innocent person and people that are trying to make a difference. It's kind of like the Matrix in 1984. That's like the world we kind of live in. Yeah, and I believe there's all kinds of inventions and people and activists that get taken out of the picture because they're trying to oppose the system and the status quo in place. Like I said, like you have, back in the day, you had different computer companies like IBM and stuff that were making monopoly off the region, and then you had these other more independent ones coming in. But then again, those even turned into corporations too, like Microsoft and Apple. But anyway, I believe the government and the corporations go buy stocks and things, and they take out people that are trying to oppose their regimes. Oh, that's good, Saw. Yeah, and that is about, you see, you're at a higher elevation than me. You see how the sun is so high up in the sky. You're in a higher elevation, although it's across the country too, and the sun is going to take some time for it to peak over all the way across where you are. That is something that is very true, where it's a higher elevation is across the country, and that's very cool. So that's the sun's position right there, from the house to the sky. So that's when it's sunrise in Cali. Very cool. Yes, that is true. It's higher than Louisiana. Yes. All right, and thank you, Lemon. It is officially the dead of night. Okay. Not even crickets. That must be eerie. That must be eerie. Scared. There's no nothing. It's just silence. It's like basically the vacuum of space is what you hear. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is very abstract to think about where in the void of night there's nothing. Not even the stray dogs, they're quiet too. Wow. Wow. Yeah, very creepy. You know, I'm sure it is very ambient. Yeah, if it's a city, it's like a post-apocalyptic society. Yeah, but being the deep, see, Lemon, where I am, I'm in a city. I'm in the outskirts of a city, but this place was designed to be like the country. And sometimes it gets silent here. The dead of night happens. Oh, thank you, Saul. Sometimes the dead of night happens, and it'll be just like a ghost town here. I'll hear nothing. And I like when I talk to myself, I whisper. Yeah, so it happens here too. That is very creepy because it's the country. There's no bugs or anything. Oh, I'm sure if you go the wrong way, Lemon, it'll be a lost cause in a way. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, by the way, I liked. There's wild pecan trees around here. Nothing wrong with trees. Maybe some guy's little hut in the middle of nowhere, but that's it. I'm thinking about there's like a dude living in a shack in his hut in the middle of the woods, but that's about it. Okay. Over here we call them hermits. So one of my friends Yes. So saw there's a pecan tree a couple of blocks from here, and it just grows there naturally, like in the wilderness. That's why I call it a wild tree. It's not domesticated. Oh yeah, absolutely. We don't go around there anymore, but my grandpa used to go over there all the time and get pecans from there. It was fun. Now sometimes there's some weird people over there, so we don't go there anymore. But and my family hasn't been there in a long time, but still, we did go there in the past. Yeah. Oh, so that reminds me of the cabins. So there's different parts where there's cabins. Yeah, they are expensive. Yeah. We haven't been there in a while, but it has good pecans over there. And so, but they're very delicious too, Saul. Lemon says maybe nobody in that hut. Yeah, see, there's cabins in the mountains, and there's like the opposite of where you live. There's like these snowy mountain resorts, and sometimes in the woods there'll be these cabins that are empty, and people go and explore them sometimes. And sometimes there's a weirdo in there. So yeah, it sounds like with the huts, it's similar concept. It's like there's a hut and there's nobody in there. Interesting. Yes, it is very bright. Absolutely. One of my favorites is pecan pie. That's something else I like. Pecan pie was something that I liked. I still like it now, and the pecans are always a good snack. Oh, cherries very good too. Yeah, my mom likes cherries. Her nickname's Cherry. And yeah, so cherries are very good, especially on ice cream and sweets and stuff like that. I mean, it's Mr. Mockingbird. Yeah, that is the tree branch up close. It looks like there's a spider web on it. Something else I think is cool is foraging. You know, there's people who do foraging in the forest, and there's certain like plants and stuff you could eat in the forest and get herbs and things like that. And it's good to know like what's edible and what isn't edible. Because a lot of people don't always see that. You know, they don't see like what's edible, what isn't edible. But there is like books on it. Oh, they're out of control. Okay. Scared. I do hear Mr. Mockingbird right now. Yeah, I don't know. Birds must have days off, I guess. They have days off. Yeah, the sun has lots of colorful rays in it. I think it's pretty cool that it has that. Yeah, you know, but foraging, you know, there's different ways to make things, to test things if they're edible or not. Like if somebody like rubs it on their body and it kind of stings, they shouldn't eat it. There's a couple different ways of heating stuff. Like sometimes people could use a plastic bottle to heat up water after it's. See, water has to go through to make water drinkable. You have to put it through all kinds of different layers of sediments and sand and rocks. And you pour it down this filter, and then eventually it becomes drinkable. It has to be boiled too. Here is the okra. I found out yesterday that the leaves are edible too on the plant. And over here, Our tomato is doing fine. Okay, so I have to go and edit. See, I have to go edit it, and let's see what day it is. It'll be at least by tomorrow during the daytime. It'll be released, and then it'll be shown to everybody. Yeah, at least by tomorrow, if not today. Sauce's chat is quiet today. Yeah, and yeah, it is, and we have some lurkers, and yeah, and it is also the morning time too, and a lot of times during the nighttime streams, that's when a lot of people are around because it is the early morning. And yeah, but we will now tonight. I'm going to do a live stream tonight. It'll be around 1 to 2 or something like that my time. But I will also still do the additional live stream about the sunrise as well. So that is going to be the streaming schedule for tonight. It'll be around like midnight my time. I'm going to do a stream. And oh, thank you, Saul. I appreciate it. And I'm still going to do probably a separate stream. Will be the morning time stream. Yeah, just there's different time zones people are in, and people come at different times. But yeah, tonight we'll see everybody, most likely. Oh, hello, Aaron. It's great to see you. Welcome to the stream, and Aaron, I hope you're feeling better. And we have some more of the okra that's going to be blooming. Oh yes, I absolutely saw. Thank you. And I'm glad you're feeling much better. All right, that is the blue sky and some clouds right there. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful morning. There is the squash right there. Yeah, so definitely a beautiful morning indeed. It's nice to see everybody. Everybody has been okay. We have been doing the garden lives at night, and recently we've been doing more of the sunrise live streams. And it has been really cool seeing the sun come up. Yeah, so yeah, we've been okay. And yesterday, Aaron, I did a harvest of the okra, and I covered it too. And this is a concept of covering it. Yeah, and not completely necessary because I have stuff to put on the plants where it doesn't need it. Now these are very useful for pumpkins, right here, where I am. But yeah, that's a concept of covering with the bug nets. And here's the pumpkin plant getting bigger. So far, not seeing any pumpkins come up. Oh, that's good to know, Saw. Yeah, and all the elephant ear plants, everything is going well, and everything's is coming up nicely. Yeah, and it was so cool to see the flower of the of the plant, of the okra plant too. It was really nice. Oh yeah, the 4th of July plans are going to be a nice celebration. And I usually have a celebration with friends and family and stuff. So yeah, eating nice food and stuff like that. So yeah, that is what I'll be doing too. Yeah. So in the 4th of July, a lot of times there are different concepts of sometimes there's a lot of fireworks. Now the animals and stuff don't really like fireworks, but the fireworks are nice to look at though. I'm right about so Aaron said I'm right on the border of my island, so I celebrate both first and fourth, watching fireworks. Oh, that is so cool that you're close to it. You get to see the fireworks. Well, that's I would appreciate that. That's very awesome that you do that too. Canada Day is the first. Oh, okay, you get to celebrate both. Well, that's nice that you celebrate it with us. That's great. The fireworks are very nice to see. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, shout out to Canada and very great neighbor. And it's important to have freedom and the way our countries are structured to have independence. It is extremely important. I how each state, we were talking before the other day about how each state is able to do its own thing pretty much, and it's confusing to some people, but that is fascinating. We have a less centralized government. Yeah. Yes, to celebrate freedom while we have it. You know, if freedom was lost over here, we would not have it anymore. Yeah, because yeah, shout out to Canada, and because it's important because the world, a lot of people want to come to these places, our part of the world, because freedoms that we have here. And we talk with people internationally everywhere, and it's interesting to see the different how culture civilizations are. And we have to make sure our freedoms are not lost at all. Yeah. Yeah, we would certainly be lost without our freedoms, and it's important for it to be preserved, 100%. We have to. That's why, as I said, voting and doing and spreading the word is important. Because a lot of people don't think that it is important, but it is. Okay, Alien, my jerk chickens have busted out of jail again. I'll send you that pic later. Wish YouTube would jump on the pick and comments train. Yes. Yeah, YouTube definitely needs to do that. That would be awesome. Absolutely. There's a little lizard right there. Yeah, because those chickens are some naughty chickens breaking out of jail like that. If lizards disturb anybody, just let me know. I'll switch the scene. But yeah, that is a lizard, a big lizard on a plant. And he's a little bit shy. Okay, he's a little bit shy. So I said, are they jerks or do they make jerk chicken out of them? Hilarious. All right, and I just wish people realize that this freedom was fought for, that concept so lost and getting erased, yet the generation complains so much. um, she says they are layers, not jerkers. Okay. Hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah, that is very funny. And, yeah, chickens, the ones that lay eggs, they are very special. They're very important for people to have. And they taste nice and fresh. So, yeah, those are very good. I remember I learned about chickens a couple of years ago. And there's broiler chickens that are used for eating. Cotton clouds. Yeah, Aaron, and those naughty chickens that are jailbreaking need to behave themselves, and that sounds like a wild episode right there. Yeah, yeah, Aaron, been they have lots of nice colors too. Aaron said, "My dad has a duel. They are for laying and meat. We don't have the equipment to dispatch, though. Too much work. Well, lots of vention. Oh, that's good. You have vention at least. All right. I'm sure that's very good. I remember when I was in Mississippi, people used to. Oh, my family didn't do it, but a lot of people would go and get themselves some vention. And I liked seeing the hunting grounds. They would have the. I like the camouflage and stuff. So, yeah, I know all about that, and yeah, that at least. But yeah, so the broiler chickens, it is a lot of work, Aaron. And that is, it said they are a lot of work, and it's good that you have the eggs. Okay, and remember, Aaron, also the of course the chicken that has to go and be slaughtered. And well, what I mean by that is there's lots of, it's a not that much work, but there is a process, but not really much more than the vention though. So when you do that with like the vention, you would feed it the way you would feed it, and eventually, viewer discretion is advised for audiences that might be sensitive to this. But yeah, you would have to do this thing where put the chicken upside down and then you would cut it. And yeah, it is a lot of work. But the eggs are fine for now. And if later you want to do vention, not vention. If you want to do the broiler chickens, the ones that for meat, you could always do that if you wanted to. But it is a lot of work, though. Yeah, both are good. It's good to have your own chickens, and that would be cool to eat or to have them as eggs. Okay, and no shells are those colors definitely cooking and baking. I make meals from scratch. I live far for takeout. Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, you're usually living off the land. And it's always cool to live off the land and do that. And yeah, it is very, and I'm glad that you had the chickens. It's very cool to do. And you see, these plants are coming up well. Right here, these plants are doing good. And these roots are edible of this plant. And I'm sure your food is delicious, Aaron. It's awesome that you have, those chickens are laying eggs. They just need to behave themselves more. Like over here in my region would be a good spot for chickens in this region. If it was some stuff was cleared out. Because, over there's like where the other stuff is grown, because it's real sunny over there, but it's sunny over here in a different time of day. And those are the big colossal plants right there. Yeah. Good morning, Lori. Saw said my ex is a rancher as well as chickens. He had ducks. I used to duck eggs for cooking and baking, the chicken eggs too. Oh, very delicious. That is excellent. And the duck eggs are pretty big. Yeah. I don't think I had duck eggs before, but they're a little bit different tasting, I think, probably than the chickens are. Oh, Aaron said the chickens would clear the space in an hour. They're like goats. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, so in the morning, the roosters will go cock-a-doodle-doo. Over here. Okay, so they're not different in taste. Okay, thank you. That's cool. And I want to try duck eggs. Very new to this lifestyle, trust me. And she was a city girl with fake nails, hair, lashes 3 years ago. Very different now. Okay. Yeah, now it's a little house in the prairie. One duck egg for a cake. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's delicious. I know these different. Also, there's goose. There's geese, rather. And the geese are nice to have as well. Yeah, ducks are also cool. You see, there's a thing with chickens where you can hatch them in an incubator. And let's see. Yes, Alien. My mother-in-law calls me Laura. Okay, that is very nice of her. And that is true. That character definitely suits you. I like that. Yeah. And this is a big pumpkin. I like the ducks and the geese. Like having like a goose, because there are a lot of fairy tales, and things that I've seen. So yeah, it's very cool to have those in a nice farm. Oh yeah, Saw says okay. Parakeets laying eggs were empty, so no baby parakeets for us. Oh okay, okay. Yeah, and that'd be cool to have babies from parakeet. Well, that's a nice shot right there. Yeah, 9 eggs all empty. Yes, Aaron, there was a verdict in that trial. Yes, that is true. We watched it yesterday, and we're also rewatching the boat trial too. Yeah, but there's a verdict. There was one count he was not guilty on, but the rest he was guilty. Like, the intention of why he did it was something the jury couldn't really decide on, but he was guilty on everything else. Yeah, me too, Saw. Any trials for next week? Finally on summer break, so I can be in chat more. Oh, excellent. Yeah, we are currently watching the Blaze Taylor trial, and it's this dude. I'm gonna speak more, give you a better explanation than what I was about to say. It's this person that was gonna be that he deleted his girlfriend or the woman he was having an affair with because she was pregnant. Yeah, the poison pregnant. Yeah, and alleged. I'm going to say alleged because it wasn't proven in a court yet. We believe he did it on purpose, although there is, hostile evidence against it, and it may be hard to prove because there is no cup was saved, and some people think that he may be innocent, but a lot of people think he's guilty, right? So allegedly, he went and poisoned the girlfriend because he didn't want a kid with her, because he was having a career as a football analyst, a football analyst in college football and professional football, and he thought that would ruin his career. So he allegedly took a drink, put some cocaine in it, and poisoned her. Now, the other side is saying that she may have been around people that were partying and had drugs on them, and she could have been accidentally laced, or it could have been, this is far-fetched. She did it herself, but why would she do that when she's pregnant, though? So, yeah, but most people think that he did it, and he does seem kind of cocky and arrogant and not really remorseful. But of course, some others would say that if whatever he would do, he would criticize. But yeah, that is the case that we're watching. It's very good. And I know, it's ironic that the murder ruined the career over the baby, right? Doing the murder is much more lethal to someone's career than the other alternative. Right. So the career has been, he was right. And Saw says he definitely laced her drink with coke. Yeah, and people that want to do these crimes, like, they don't realize that they have to do the time. When they do things like this. Yeah, definitely a sad world we live in, and people are very selfish and self-centered. Yeah. And she said to him that, she was saying that her drink tasted funny and that he laced because he didn't want the baby. But it's like they have to prove that he did that, but that will be basically what we're watching. And Aaron said, because if people want to take themselves out, they lace their drinks with coke. Okay, bye. Right. I'm scared. Yeah, I know, right? And yeah, so that's the case that we're watching, and we will see what happens. But yeah, she was pregnant, and she seemed like she was excited to have the baby. So people do not think that she did it on purpose to herself. Yes, it is, Aaron. I agree. And so there's easier ways to do that. And somebody that's doing liquid, the cocaine is not going to be doing it while they have a kid. She wasn't even drinking. So yeah, somebody, which was him most likely, laced the drink. Yeah. Oh, the defense presented their side in a very cringe way. The defense is very arrogant and cringe and Timu. That is the problem with them. So she's not really likable. Yeah, the way the defense presented their case was not really ideal for what, it wasn't a likable way, right? And they're just trying to basically the defense is blaming one of the friends that she did it, not him. Yeah, so they're trying to bring up another suspect, a potential suspect. Like Monica Simontelli did more damage to herself by doing the murder than a divorce would have. Yeah, that was a great trial, definitely. Oh, yeah, I saw she's very aggressive. Yeah, that's true. Hey, DeLeon, it's great to see you. I'm doing good. We are in the garden talking about a trial that we're all watching. Glad you could come back around. And yeah, so, DeLeon, these are some different trees and things that have been growing in the yard over time, and I made like a jungle out of it. Really cool. So I'm doing good. We've been doing a lot of cool live streams and hanging out with chat. It's nice to see you also. And Aaron said, haha, Monica just looked stunned at the evidence. Like, her nude photos and videos were brand new information. So yeah, she's so stupid. Yeah. Yeah. And she was getting the special toothpaste. She had deluxe toothpaste with some white toothpaste, let's just say. Yeah. So that whole thing was like a crazy trial. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. And yeah, and DeLeon, this is the tree. It's getting big, it's gotten very big. Oh, that is an 18-wheeler. That's great. And I'm sure that had to be like 5 cars in one vehicle. That's a big one right there. And right here is the Halloween decoration. That is still here because I keep them out for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm scared. Okay. So, this is my pirate hat, DeLeon. And let's see. I wear it on my streams. Because, see, DeLeon, I noticed that when I'm doing these streams, especially when it's kind of like stormy, it helps keep the water off my head and when I'm going through the trees and stuff. Yeah. Okay. And Sauce says, Monica is the dumbest person who has 6 in the back seat of a cop car. Silly, stupid one. Yeah. Extremely, extremely dumb. Yeah. Absolutely. And Monica, she's a classy broad. Yeah. Yeah. And, I do believe that a lot of these people are so... Oh, DeLeon, glad you like the pirate hat. Yeah. And, oh, DeLeon, that's cool you're going live. Yeah, definitely do it. And you'll definitely get a lot of traction with it. Yeah, and Monica, people like her, they think they're so clever and intelligent that they're going to get away with everything. And they get shocked when they actually get caught. And that's what I believe is very important to understand, is the minds of these people are just completely abnormal that we cannot comprehend. Aaron said, saw taking nudes of her mom's room on the day of the funeral sets a new record. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Lori. Yeah, arg. Yeah. And Mr. Mockingbird is talking above me, up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Monica was really a Jezebel spirit in human form. Yeah, and Aaron said, and then making her sister look at them did me in. Yeah, absolutely. And Sauce said Monica became obsessed with 6. And didn't matter if she was with a P-file. Yeah, I know. They don't really care if they're with the P-files. They don't care about that. They're so into their compulsion. That's why a lot of people are P-files. Because their compulsion is so strong that they can't control themselves. And yeah, I do believe that a lot of times people will, let their addiction, kind of like be addicted to drugs or whatever. It's an addiction that takes them over. So yeah, she was definitely, I'd say, as disturbed as he was. Definitely. And yeah, it's important for people to watch these trials and see about what these crazy people are capable of, because they will not hesitate to do these wicked things. And their compulsion and their desire for sex is so strong that they don't really, nothing else matters to them. Right. And when she got sentenced, that was hilarious. When she was found guilty, she, got all scared. And that was really funny, to happen, because she got her goose cooked, so to speak. Love you too, Aaron. It was so nice to talk to you again, and have a great day. See you later. Just saw a local news report that a guy who makes bubbles at parks for kids, and he has a baby sat for people, was arrested for 6 crimes on June 23rd. Oh, that is very disturbing. Yeah. You see, people like that will take those types of trades on purpose to be around kids more. And yeah, it could be anybody, A news report, yeah, it's very disturbing when people do that. Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you, Lori, for the news report, by the way. All right, and we used to have the ability to see their mugshots, but they declared illegal a few years ago. Thankfully, local citizens posted on neighborhood Facebook groups. Just glad it was caught, though. Yeah, because people got to know who those people are, because it is very creepy, to have that. Oh, look who it is. It's Bubbles. Right here. Oh, Temu spacebar. Yeah. Yeah, he's so beautiful in his white tables. Oh, Temu typo. Scared. As I said, this is a Temu assembly of a bug net. Predominantly, we'll be using these for pumpkins, but yeah, this is like a prototype of it. And I have different things to put on the plants where they don't need these things exactly. Because we've been successfully have been harvesting, okra. But that's the concept about it. Yes, they let rain through. That's true. You see these little fibers. Rain go through it. Yeah. But as I said, without any bug nets or anything, I've been harvesting okra from this successfully. So it's not necessary to have that exactly, but on that plant, because I have the different stuff to put on the plants where they don't need it. But that was just a concept of the bug net for y'all to see and to try out. Now, as I said, for pumpkins though, I'm definitely going to use it for the pumpkins because they always get devoured by something. Not always, but it's an issue that happens. It has happened before where the pumpkins, they need a bug net on them because when they produce a pumpkin, because sometimes things try to eat it. Okay, everything tries to eat it. And it's happened before. So to do it successfully, that needs a giant bug net on it. Oh yeah, Lori, get the kind you can take on and off. That's a good idea. And look up how to do it properly is another good thing to do too. Yeah, yeah. You see, another thing you can put on plants is soap and water. That will help out with the pests. Besides the insect repellents. I found lettuce types with red and leaves, and they don't get eaten by bugs. Oh, interesting. Yeah, definitely the colors and things like that and scents can cause bugs to not go around them. Sometimes you use neem oil spray and garlic powder. It's all natural. Yeah, that'll definitely help. Right, and I'm going to go. There's a trial coming on that I'm going to be doing a stream about in the Verdict Room. So I'm going to get that set up for, those that watch it. And Saw says, I saw a reel last week where farmers, another country, Japan maybe, are shining LED lights on crops. They say it confuses the bugs and they won't land on the plants. Japanese are very brilliant and very much ahead of us. And that is excellent that they figured that out. I believe that is an effective way to get rid of them, and certainly will be confusing to them. Because the bugs go by their sensors and things. They don't go by logic. So, yeah, that makes sense, definitely. My pleasure, Lori. And tonight I'll be doing a garden live earlier in the night. And then we'll go and do the sunrise stream too. All right. Shout out to you, Duke. Oh, by the way, right before I go, Duke, watch this. So here's the okra. All right. And this is a bug net. It's not necessary to put on these because I have stuff to repel the insects, but this is a bug net concept. And yeah, tobacco juice works too. And by the way, and I've been harvesting okra. So it's been successful. So yeah, I harvested some yesterday. So yeah, it's been very good. Very cool. Anyway. All right, and that's my tomato plant. Okay. So, all right, see you all in the Verdict Room. Oh, hilarious, Lori. Hilarious, Lori. Okay, and peace. See you all in the Verdict Room.